TableTopTwats. So this episode we have got a special guest on board.
Whoa, special guest! Everyone, a round of applause.
Who's cheering himself. This is James Clarke. He is a member of our RPG group.
That's right.
Say hello, James.
Hello, this is James Clarke.
Good.
Very professional. You won't last long here, mate.
So James, you've been playing RPGs with me since the very early days when we were 15 playing fucking the D&D board game.
Oh, so it was you two?
It was me, him and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
Peter as well.
He's been right there, and James also suffered through all of my really early D&D campaigns.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah, I know.
They suffered like it was.
They were fucking abysmal, man. In comparison to what we're doing nowadays, it's embarrassing.
Got to start somewhere, though.
But we've got features coming out the fucking anus.
We got creatures.
We've got an intro, which we've just done. I just read that off the list. So, but we've got what we've been slaying. We've got a competition this time, which is fucking amazing.
Exciting. Really good one.
We've got the main subject, which this week is Pathfinder. And then we've got challenges and fireside tales, and then we got questions.
Electronic letters
from the listeners.
Which has been, again, brilliant, so I'm looking forward to that.
Take that. Oi! Yeah? What you slaying?
The first thing is what we've been slaying.
Wow.
James, on this segment we talk about what we've been playing this week. As I say every week, it's a clever pun.
It is.
So yeah, I'll tell you what, we've all been slaying. So we lost two members of the extras, didn't we?
Yeah, one of them died under sort of tragic but mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them,
Came
James?
out of nowhere.
Do you want to tell them what
Okay, so Harrison's character, Sarah.
We haven't spoken about Sarah.
She's a Scottish lady, and she's really aggressive. And like this week, whereas one of the characters, Ernest, he was a Cub Scout leader, but now he's been deeply affected by all the shit that's happened, and that's changed him kind of for the better, where he's...
Well, he found a leather jacket. That was almost like a turning point.
He's having like a midlife crisis within a zombie...
Which is at the perfect time, really.
Whereas my character's been affected by what's happened, but my character's changed in that she's embraced the world.
Your character's scary, mate.
She's gone like fully Mad Max on this shit.
Yeah, your character's... She's... Oh, mate, she's... a bit wild.
I mean, the mask.
At the moment.
Do you want to tell them about the mask?
Yeah, I had some duct tape, so I wanted to make her look scary to like intimidate people. So I got the duct tape in the game and wrapped it around my head, and now whenever I meet people, I sort of like poke my tongue out of this like duct tape gimp mask and go,
Yeah, I was going to say, do the noise.
It's so great.
So anyway, so what did Sarah do for the greater good of the group?
No, it was just that there was some zombies in the way, and I dealt with it in an efficient manner. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, efficient manner. It was very efficient.
Pushing an 8-year-old off a balcony to be eaten by zombies efficient.
Well,
yes, but
you say push.
It was more of a chuck.
It was a throw.
A lob.
She picked him up
and launched
threw
him
him
in front of everybody.
perfectly into the arms of the zomboids.
I will say this though,
and then cocked a shotgun and said, "If anyone don't like it."
Can I just say one thing in the defence of that character though?
She is good.
Did everyone get past unhurt?
Apart from the kids.
Actually, if you want us to
He was a little bit injured,
literally,
as in dead.
then no.
You can't make an omelette without killing a few kids. That's what
Fair enough.
I've not heard that version before.
Szia! Az én nevem Alan Rickman, és amikor épp nem a galaxis mentem meg, TableTopTwats hallgatok.
This week you've bought a new Savage Worlds product.
I have, yeah. It came pretty quick actually, considering it came from America, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that. Come in a little nice plastic case.
What is it?
It is the
You
mutation.
can't even open it.
Yeah, well, it's that good.
Is that good?
It's the mutation deck from Just Insert Imagination. It's it's a deck of cards essentially, but it's with a little bit extra. It's got very large clubs. It's what's it called? Suits on the front, so it's easy to see while you're dishing them out for initiative in Savage Worlds, and also it's got the added bonus. Well, have a look, take some, grab a couple, see what you think.
So on the ones
James?
I've just grabbed,
What have you got there? I'm going to give you a bunch of different ones.
so as
Have a
far
little
as I
look at
know,
what you've got.
these are like little gameplay rules, and you can add these in however you want. So it could be that you actually become mutated, and then it changes something. But on here, for instance, I've got clairaudience. You can occasionally hear things from a remote location as if standing there. So like, these could even be used for like sanity loss, or you could use it if you're mutated. Like suddenly this weird shit.
Radiation leak it gets a load of people, and before you know it, they've started to grow an extra leg and things like that. Yeah.
And then underneath it's got like the advantage and disadvantage of this particular trait.
Yeah.
So what have you guys got?
I've got 3 in my hand. One of them is called Cold Affinity, another Dark Adaption, and Earth Link.
Nice.
They sound pretty cool, like they're.
Well, I quite like the creativity of these. Like, so there's some that are like really fucking weird. Like,
yeah, I've got one here. Sonic Conduit. You unconsciously emit a faint, repetitive sound, such as a humming or whistling.
so imagine the thing is, I like shit like that because you have to role play it. You know what I mean? Imagine if you were having to go through the game
and you suffer. Yeah, and you suffer. So the disadvantage is that you suffer a penalty to stealth rolls early. So you're like, guys, we've got to be really quiet. You just hear. Fuck. But the advantage is you gain echolocation, allowing you to accurately pinpoint
Oh, that'd be awesome.
corporeal creatures
sit
within
there.
12 inches. Ignore all visible penalties within this range. So, all right, you hum all the time. You can
sit
see
there.
everything.
You can sit there and
You're
go,
like a bat.
and we're like,
or you could just sit hiding, humming, and then the enemy would be like, I can hear a humming noise, but you with the sonar, you could be like, I can see them coming, guys.
you could just avoid them.
It's great. It's a really nice product.
I like how the cards sort of have a rustic look. They have a built-in worn look.
It reminds me, like, the artwork as well, a lot of Fallout, which is a good thing. Yeah, they're properly nice.
Time awareness. You have an innate awareness of the passage of time. It's really cool. So anyway, so that's a mutation deck. They cost $15, which is less. What's that? About 12 quid.
We've touched on how they could add a lot of comedy, but I think also it could add like a lot of really quite dark things to the game as well.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool product.
There's a lot of versatility to it. I love it. I'm really pleased
at the end there, you just slam the deck of cards down on the desk. That's going to be nice for the people listening.
Oh god, boom! Sorry, guys.
Alright, so next up, we've got a competition.
Oh yeah, this is pretty fucking cool.
It's fucking exciting. I'm going to play the jingle now, and I just want to point out to everyone listening, I'm not proud of this jingle. It's fucking awful. So, sorry.
It's a competition.
So the competition, the first Tabletop Twats competition. The prize here is
pretty fucking cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
So first up, it's a multi-part prize. We basically put together the ultimate starter kit for role playing. And the first thing that we've got, and the biggest thing, is the Dungeons and Dragons red box, and this is worth about 35 to 40 quid.
This is a big deal, right?
We've got it in front of us right now.
Yeah,
so I'm going to open it, and I'm going to just. You guys can just describe the contents.
I've heard a lot about this.
Firstly, the box, pretty good nick.
And it is red, like it says in the red box.
These, what you've got there, James, those are action cards. These are pretty cool because what they're for is your powers that you have for your character in D&D. Instead of having them written down on your sheet, you've got the full description on the cards.
Oh, nice.
You just have your cards sitting there.
Okay, yeah.
And then you got this, which is pretty sick.
Battle map.
Oh yeah, the battle map.
The battle map is awesome. It's really, really detailed. It's got two.
It's huge.
It's fucking massive.
A2, isn't it? Yeah, A2.
Wow. So you've got a dungeon by the looks of it, or some kind of indoor.
No, that is a dungeon. It's got a dungeon which you could use for multiple stuff. And on the other side, you've got
and then on the other side we've got. Oh right, so it's like we're outside. There's a river running through, and we've got some. What looks like a cave maybe, or something, or some campfires down there.
Yeah.
Cool, man. It's like your typical fantasy kind of landscapes. Really good detail, isn't
image
it?
as well.
And how old is this?
This is about 10 years old, I think.
Wow, okay.
I might be wrong there.
That's pretty awesome.
So you've got the Dungeon Master and Players books as well, which are condensed versions of the rules for newbies, and they're really, really nice, full-coloured books.
Yeah.
They're pretty decent.
Yeah.
They seem to have quite a lot of content. It's got a little quick information on the back as well. One of them, how to read a power card, keywords.
Yeah, those rules actually, for getting started quickly, they're really, really decent and very, very detailed. And then it actually comes with some pre-printed character sheets, which are...
They look really nice.
They are genuinely, actually proper nice character sheets.
Nice thick paper as well.
They seem to be quite, really well laid out.
Yeah, they're a bit more intuitive than the ones for the main game. So
single-sided.
Yeah.
So you've got loads of space on the back.
And then the last thing, you've got these.
Wow, loads of tokens.
Yeah, so there's fuckloads.
Shed loads of tokens.
They
icon things.
represent different monsters. They're
Oh,
also,
so they're counters for monster counters and stuff.
and heroes as well. But
Nice.
they're also double-sided. So
Oh, they
So
remind
double
me.
up as 2 different
You
things.
know what they remind me of?
Pogs.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Now you're showing your age, boys.
But they're quite hard wearing for what they are.
Butt sex.
And so that's everything that comes in that box. But we wouldn't just want. Why did you have to say that? We wouldn't just be satisfied with you simply having to. These,
Oh, no.
These minis.
The twats want to give you more.
These little counters in here. So we're giving you also this, Nick. Describe what you see.
Okay, in front of me I have a very highly detailed, lovely little knight mini.
Yeah, the ones we tend to use in our games cost between about £1.50 to £2, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one is a £6 mini.
Yeah.
and
Oh, nice.
it's really really nice.
It's lovely. So
It's unpainted, so you can paint it if you want.
It's really nice, really high quality. That is.
But that
It's
can
great.
be used for. The reason I picked it is because you could use that for a multitude of characters. You could use it as a cleric, a knight, a fighter.
Yeah.
You could use it as a warlord, or and it
It's
can
a
be male or
decent little
female.
mini, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
a decent little mini. Nice, very nice.
Well, and the last prize that we're giving away for the ultimate starter kit is.
Ultimate starter kit.
Well, yeah, as you guys know already from the previous podcast how I feel about my dice, so it does pain me to do this, but it is for the greater good because we do want to get everybody RPGing, so we want to give a decent prize away. So I am going to give out from my own personal collection.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nice. They're really nice ones.
They're
as
like
well.
one of your best
I
sets of
know.
dice, man.
I know.
Weren't they like one of your first sets?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, I got these in red and I got them in blue, didn't I? These are actually ones from the what a set from the drunken buy-in rampages. So yeah, so they got a bit of meaning to them as
Oh,
well. So
man.
yeah, but I want to give them away. So why not?
Can I
Can I have a look at them, guys? Can I have a
win
quick look?
this? Ah.
No, you can't enter. I'm afraid.
You're a guest on the podcast, man.
Yeah, but I'm also
You win.
a listener.
Now it's time for the final battle. Magic missile!
So you get the Dungeons and Dragons starter box set. You get a very high quality miniature and an unbelievably high quality set of dice. That's everything you need. As a listener of the show, you're going to get first dibs on these prizes. We are going to post about the competition, but we're going to do it later. And the way to win the prize is to go to this website address. You go to tinyurl.com/TTTcomp. That's tinyurl.com/TTTcomp. Yes.
Oh.
And so you go there and you will see a picture that I made of a dinosaur knight. And what you've got to do is colour that in as best you can. You can do it on a computer or you can print it out and do it with your crayons. Any way you want, and send us your colouring in to TableTopTwats@gmail.com or on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the
Or
winner,
G+.
Or G+.
Yeah, anywhere.
Or Twitter.
or Twitter.
We could even say that the drawing is the mini with his helmet off.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, basically, do that. Send us your drawing, and we will,
We'll pick the best one.
Be in contact.
And we'll send out this amazing
Obviously.
prize.
So, when does this competition end?
the competition ends.
Yes.
Competition.
That will end in 2 weeks' time. So you've got 2 weeks to get your entries in.
2 weeks.
And bear in mind, we will look on your entry favourably if it is A, creative, and B, original.
It seems quite funny actually that we're actually going to give away Dungeons and Dragons and I've still yet to play the fucking game.
Main. Subject. Main. Subject. Sorry.
Pathfinder, main subject.
The reason we chose that is because it's James and I's favourite game.
Yep.
It's our
Ever.
favourite
It's my favourite platform.
And we wanted to have James on specifically to speak about this. And I have got a bunch of shit for us to talk about today. So, James, in a nutshell, describe what Pathfinder is as a game.
Right, so Pathfinder, it is like a fantasy setting. It's based on a D20 system, and it incorporates all 7, I think, of the basic set of what are these polyhedral dice.
Yeah, it does. You use all the full set of dice.
That's nice. You like that when you get to use all your dice.
Basically, the game, how it works at its most basic level is it's all about DC checks. So what that is that the DM will determine the difficulty of a certain action, and you'll roll a D20 to succeed in that action. And when you roll the D20, you'll get a plus or minus on it depending on your skill in that action. And essentially that's how it works. The way you create a character is you pick a class, and some examples of that are
Rogue,
you've got cleric,
wizard,
fighter, rangers, druids.
We've got Pathfinder, core rule
Got a
book.
bunch of Pathfinder stuff
Well, the
over
thing
here.
is, what I wanted to do was kind of go through sort of how to get into Pathfinder. And I think one of the first things that needs to be said is that I wouldn't describe you, Nick, or you, James, as massively into fantasy, but you both really, really enjoyed Pathfinder. In fact, you, James, were playing it before we even joined up with our current group.
Yeah, before I knew Nick and Ryan, we were playing Pathfinder for quite a long time.
Oh, he was playing Roll20, right?
Yeah,
we did,
I know
yeah.
you discussed it
Spoke about it in the last
previously.
episode.
But it was awesome. It was Harrison was the DM, as spoken about in the last podcast. He had a lot of time that he used at work to create some of the amazing maps that he, put together with like the.
Yeah, man, I hope you don't mind me keep pumping them pictures out on all the media avenues.
No, that's
I just
fine.
really like it, man.
That's cool. But yeah, I drew a lot of those maps at work, and we played Pathfinder. It was just me, you, and my brother, and I was DMing, and
it was really convenient because at the time we were really quite busy. Sean lived in Croydon at the time as well, but didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so
Good boy.
it was quite a fair distance for him to travel, for us to meet up
So
like
we
this.
just played over the internet.
And it was awesome. It was really good, really convenient, and I still have so many fond memories of that
because
campaign.
was what I wanted to do with that campaign. Is I didn't want it to be a typical fantasy setting. I didn't want it to be based around the acquisition of an item, nor did I want it to be political like Game of Thrones. What I wanted to do is have an adventure that didn't feel typical. So the whole plot of the game was that you two were imprisoned on an island where they send criminals,
Criminals.
and you were imprisoned wrongly because they were trying to not frame you for a crime, but they were trying to get out of finding the real killer because it was easier for the police force, basically.
Yeah.
So they just picked two random guys and sent them off to this prison island.
Yep.
And while they were there was a war going on between some clerics who believed that they were the only ones that were sent there incorrectly, and the wizards who hated the clerics for that very reason, because they saw everyone as criminals on the island. So there was this huge war going on, and you were basically caught up right back smack bang in the middle, and were basically having to deal with both sides and constantly talking to them and stuff.
Yeah, so I was an elf, and
What was
Sean.
your name?
I had no surname. My name was simply Asaurus.
And he was an elf.
Thesaurus.
No, Asaurus.
Oh. He was an elf that was like a massive. I want to say ladies' man, but he wasn't really, because he never really had much success. But he was
A bit like Randy Dixon.
he was he was a bit of a pervert. Like he
Yeah, exactly like Randy Dixon.
Exactly, but he was more like Asaurus was always trying to chat up the ladies, and I remember that.
Yeah, but I like to think that I did it in quite a sophisticated way, rather than
like to
Randy
think that.
Dixon and his obtuse, disgusting, vile ways that he does it.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you wanna?
Yeah, it was more like.
Did you have a bit of class, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for more details on Randy Dixon, listen to the last episode.
Yes, absolutely.
But I remember there was a point where you were trying to get into like the cleric's grove, where they were creating this giant boat they were going to use to escape, and you were trying to get in there, and you were just going up to the woman, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna say to her, like, do you want to go on a date? And like, you suddenly got all shy, and it wasn't even like a real woman. But like, yeah, that was cracking. But that's the point that I wanted to make, was that Pathfinder doesn't need to be your typical fantasy.
No.
If you're not into fantasy, fucking play it.
Or
because
high fantasy, isn't
you can have horror fantasy.
Yeah.
You can have investigation shit in here. You can have police force shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want within this. It just needs to be a setting where it's medieval with magic. It doesn't necessarily mean you're railroaded into one genre.
Mm-hmm.
You are railroaded into a setting, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be one genre.
You can't make an omelette without killing a few kids.
And we started with the Pathfinder beginner box, which is
Another box, eh?
very similar to the red box D&D, but this
Is
is
not being given away.
no,
No, definitely not.
I'm keeping it forever. But in here,
So
Another
yeah.
battle map.
It's got a.
Okay, so this is more of a cardboard one, isn't it?
It's like laminated.
Oh, no, it's like a
extra thick.
Super tough. I suppose you
Super
could draw
tough.
on this with a dry wipe.
you can,
Yeah,
That's the
wicked.
cool thing about it. You can
It's-
draw on it and.
I've heard about Paizo's flip maps before, and apparently they are Brilliant.
Well, this is amazing. I mean,
So on
That's
one end,
really cool,
on
yeah.
one side, it has a preset dungeon type area, all there, and on the other side, it's sort of a sand colour, gridded, completely empty. So up
and
to
you
your
can
own
just draw on it.
imagination.
Yeah, put whatever you want on that.
That is fucking cool, man. I like that.
And then you've got the 2 books as well. You've got the.
Tell you what, these two, few books that it came with were really,
I still use them. I
Yeah.
still use them because they have.
they're really good, quick reference guides.
Yeah, early quick reference guides for rules, and they've got good monsters in there. You've got a hero's handbook, a game master's guide, and a transition guide. And while a lot of these boxes sort of have like a pamphlet in it, these are more like magazine type quality.
Yeah, they're. Wait a second, I'll just tell you this.
Like a sticker album back in the day, innit? Do you remember when you used to get like
so the Hero's Handbook
cover
has
on it in there? Yeah, it's nice.
about 63 pages in it, and
It's like a textbook.
the Game Master's Guide has 96. So that's how thin they are. But
The art's nice.
they're
I must
really
say.
comprehensive, and the way that they do the sort of quick start, and they give you kind of like default levels and stuff, and really, really quick and intuitive character creation process. And they are done really, really well in these 2 magazine-type books.
Yeah, because like in when you get to the full game, when you level up, say for instance you're a spellcaster, it will say to you pick any 9th level spell or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in that book, it will just it still gives you choices, but it'll mill it down to a couple, just to make it nice and easy and quick, so that you're
Yeah,
not
a few
too
of the
confounded by
I'd
everything.
say easier ones and sort of things that people may be more sought after. Obviously, there's loads more to choose from, but this just makes it a lot easier. Especially, I mean, you could do a Pathfinder one shot, and this is perfect for.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you could get
Do you want
started
shots in
quick.
Pathfinder?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you were using this box, you could roll up a character within 15 minutes.
Oh, nice.
But
So character creation is pretty straightforward. Then.
the last book is the transition guide,
Yes.
and I'll skim over that really quickly because all it is if you played the previous edition, which is D&D 3.5. This book shows you how to transition your character and some other
nice.
stuff into this game.
Has Pathfinder got anything to do with D&D?
Well, basically, the very short history of it is that the D20 system is an open system that's allowed to be used by anyone.
And that's the dice that's used, right?
Yeah, and it's basically the entire way the system works. And that is not owned by Dungeons and Dragons or Wizards of the Coast, who own D&D. So Pathfinder decided to make their own version of D&D 3.5 because that's arguably the best version of D&D.
Yeah.
Except they fixed all the shit, and so Pathfinder is basically D&D 3.75.
And they did a fucking good job.
They did a stellar
Yeah,
job. I mean,
it's amazing.
It's one of our favourite games, and the last thing that you have in the box are these counters. So
Yeah.
these
Oh, they're better than the last ones.
So
They
these counters are cardboard. Either side of them
Like
has.
figure flats.
it's the same
aren't
thing.
they?
Yeah.
So it's like a really, really thick, robust cardboard, and you stand
there's-
it up,
On a little plastic
and it's
stand.
got
on a
maybe.
small circular plastic stand.
Nice.
So you can actually,
And you've got utterly fuckloads of these. There's
Oh
like,
man, yeah,
it
and
comes
they all
with about
come in the
100.
box.
Yeah, every
wow,
single one.
There's,
I didn't buy.
there's absolute bundles there. Your little pink, nice little pink box is full of
Yeah,
tokens. You can't see that. That's bad. That's really bad radio.
yeah, it is. But never mind.
Never mind.
Well, the thing is, like, I got into this RPG. I had a DM guide, I had a player guide, I had all these minis, I had a battle map, and I had all of that for like 20 quid.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, this box was 20 quid.
That's
and they must
really
be losing
reasonable.
money on this because the amount of stuff you get in there is just amazing.
Well, I think I can't remember the last time I saw it, but they are no longer £20. I don't think.
No, I'm certain they were losing money on these.
Yeah.
Oh, so they've hiked
I mean,
up
I
a
got
bit now.
the core
Rulebook, yeah.
rule book, and I
It's a wedge of a
saw.
book, I must say.
It's huge.
It's massive, and I've got that. It's the first actual tabletop RPG like thing that I own other than dice. Like the first actual rule book of any one. I got the Pathfinder version. I picked it up for a very reasonable price.
It was 25 quid at the time.
Yeah. So already on the back of this. Of Harrison's copy, and I think obviously mine as well. It's got $49.99. That's his RRP, but you know,
We got it for 25 quid.
yeah, we got ours really cheap, and I've actually seen them at a much more uplifted price.
Yeah. The thing is about this book, though, one of the things that makes the core rulebook so great is that there's not a single wasted sentence in it, and it not only.
And the artwork is awesome.
The artwork
Yeah,
is
I was going to
fucking
say
amazing.
the artwork's really good.
Actually, I wanted to talk about the artwork real quickly because you'll notice. Have a look on this box here, right, and here on
So he's currently pointing at the
On the DM.
Pathfinder role-playing game beginner box.
And I'm holding up the DM screen. On the DM screen, you have all these characters, same characters that are on here, same ones that are on here.
Yep.
And I've also got with me the Pathfinder comic books, which we'll talk about in a bit. But these, they all contain the same characters. So while other RPG books contain generic artwork throughout, the ones in the core rulebook for Pathfinder contain the same characters over and over again, and it's at different little snapshots during their quests.
Don't they actually give you a...
Gives it really good continuity, doesn't
It gives you presets.
Yeah,
as
all
well.
the presets are these characters.
Yeah.
Nice.
So not only can you have like a preset rogue that you can give out, it's a rogue that has a preset personality as well, so you can get right into role playing straight away. It was quite clever because they wanted to have these like archetypical characters, which is why they released comic books as well. And like the comic books are, surprisingly, I've read some of the tie-in shit for D&D, and it is fucking abysmal. Like I've read Dragonlance and shit.
What's that?
Oh, mate, I could fucking talk about Dragonlance for days, but it's basically about wizards, and some are evil and some are good, and the way that you know if they're good or evil is by the colour of robe they wear. For some reason, nobody's ever thought of just wearing a different coloured robe. But anyway, I'm not getting into that. Okay, so yeah, I've got the comic books here, and surprisingly, these are not shit, right? So James, just open that one up and take a look at the
firstly,
artwork.
what I want to comment on these books is they appear to be...
When you say comic book, it's not a comic book, is it?
No, it's like it was graphic novel, isn't it? So
it's hardback.
This is hardback. The design and everything is similar to the really, really thick core rulebook. They're really nice and weighty, and they look amazing. Again, like we said, the characters are the same.
Take a look. Just flip to a random page and look at the artwork.
Fucking hell. Okay, so this is a fully colour. Each page is, that shiny gloss that it's got on it. The detail is ridiculous. I mean, I'm looking at I don't know what it is. Oh, it's a guy's face, and it looks really weird and sort of wrinkly.
Oh, it's been mashed up, yeah.
And it is bloody as fuck.
It's been tuned up.
What do you think, Nick?
It's lovely, yeah, really, really good. I mean, the quality is great.
Awesome.
The artwork is
Believe it or not,
incredible.
That there's a character in it that reminds me of Sean's.
Oh yeah.
Sean had a dwarf called Harry.
Yeah, the dwarf in this guy, he's a ranger and he's a tracker, and he's such a cool character. And surprisingly, the stories in here aren't shit. It doesn't feel like a tie-in product. I know before Ryan even played Pathfinder,
I've
he
just
read
seen some
these.
side boob.
Really?
Yeah, because
But how did he come across it then?
he found it at Forbidden Planet.
Side boob.
There's some side boob Nick has found.
Oh, great. Of course Nick would have
Oh yeah, there
found
is
that.
a lesbian love storyline in there.
Oh, perfect.
Which is good. But
Oh, wow. So I've just realised that...
the one really, really cool thing about these comic books, flip to the back pages and have a look at like the last few pages, because you two are going to like this, I think. You've got the campaign settings, so you can play through the adventures that you just played through in the comic.
Oh, what you've read? You can play it?
Yeah, right here, that's what you're reading.
Complete with unique monsters that aren't in any of the other books.
It even gives you,
battle
right,
maps.
a
And
battle map. Like
and there's a battle map at the back that I'm looking
Like
at,
it's-
and that doubles up as a poster.
Yeah,
This is
so
a
it's
really, really nice, high quality product, I must say.
I know, it's just so good. If you're a fan of the RPG, it's
Or even if you just like comic books, man. I mean,
genuinely,
This is ticking all the boxes for just like, I like graphic novels as much as you guys do, and this is just looks like a decent
and the
graphic
stories
novel,
are
man.
great. They're great characters.
Really nice.
The settings are brilliant. So basically, that's all the Pathfinder products. Like you can tell I'm a bit of a fanboy, but
Big time.
Yeah, but Pathfinder's awesome. There's
Yeah, but
one
then
thing...
look at my pile of Savage World stuff, you know what I mean? If you like something, you
Oh,
just
yeah,
buy
good
it.
point.
all.
That's-
So,
yeah.
You know, and it's nice that because we all game as a group, we don't need to all individually go out and buy the same shit. Like the Savage World stuff's covered by me, so if anyone ever wanted to run a Savage Worlds campaign, I've got the stuff that would just lend and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's what we do
Same
with the
goes with
GURPS and
Pathfinder.
stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
There's
that's
one
the beauty of
thing-
having a group that sticks together and you keep playing with. It's lovely because then you've got we all share our stuff,
shit,
innit?
yeah.
Yeah, share your shit, mate.
Block your thunderbolt. 3,000 in a critical. Dark out critical. Thunder! Thy art slain.
what I wanted to talk to you guys about, just to wrap up the main segment, right, is that magic, basically. Because
Don't know.
magic
You used it.
Yeah, good point.
Omen. I was rolling.
Well, yeah, in Pathfinder you played.
Luckily, you converted.
Actually,
me from
you've
Call of
never been a
Cthulhu.
magic user.
I've never been a full-on magic user, no. I have used
I did a bit of magic.
Did a bit of magic, parlour tricks.
That was one of James's. James was a half-orc rogue called Jazor.
Amazing character, yeah.
And that's how
Jazor's being solved.
You've never played like a main magic user.
No, I haven't.
Neither of you. But what I I like about Magic, right, even if you're not into fantasy, is that it alters the gameplay.
Yeah, well, I mean, take this for instance. My guy, he was not a Magic guy, but I got to a level where I
was a green guy.
I could choose this minor magic.
You could do like,
ability.
was it level 0 spells?
Yeah, I could do level 0 spells, and there is a big chunk to choose from. It's
Level
awesome.
0 spells, to explain, are basically utility spells.
Yeah.
They can't really hurt anyone or do anything.
But
massive.
they're really useful if you
There's
think
one,
about them.
one that you used all the time called
Whisper.
Ghost Voice, I think it's called.
It's something to do.
No, it was something like throw voice or something like that, and you could basically whisper in someone's ear.
Yeah, so I
Quite
remember
far
there was
away.
a point where you guys were in a fight with two other guys, and you wanted to distract them, and James just whispered in his ear from afar, so it sounded like he was being spoken to
He's
at
like,
his
"What?"
side.
In
No,
his
no,
ear.
he just went cunt,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I fucked him up.
and he was like what? And then you guys just went in. But yeah, I mean, I've highlighted a few things in the core rulebook here because, like, I just wanted to highlight a couple of spells and how greatly they alter the course of gameplay and stuff versus a non-magic campaign like Cthulhu or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've gone into the bard spells, and bards are basically they sing to do
Everyone
magic.
wants to play a bard, right?
Not really, no.
That's what I've heard.
No, well, maybe. But I think a lot of people, if they want to do a comedy character, want to play a bard so they can whip out a flute and start fucking about.
A bit like
a bit like fucking Ernest.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just going to pick a spell at random here. So, for instance, this is a 3rd level bard spell that you can get, right? You gain plus 20 bonus on bluff checks, and your lies can escape magical discernment. So,
Plus 20.
yes,
Explain that.
That basically means that you become the best liar on the
Yeah,
planet.
bullshit. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because it's on a D20 based system.
And the amount that changes, man, that is,
Yeah.
unless you're against somebody that's got an unbelievable intelligence score, they're not going to detect your line.
Well,
They'll believe you.
20 is the highest roll that you can get in all of the checks because you roll a d20 to determine whether or not you can do it. So if you get a plus 20 with this spell, it's an
You can basically
automatic.
go
Feed it out of your hands. Yeah.
It's an automatic success.
By the way, I'm a woman.
It's not an automatic. It's not an automatic crit because you haven't rolled it yet. It is always an automatic success because it's so
Pretty
high.
much. I mean, some of the most difficult things to do would be to beat a 25.
Yeah.
And you'd have a high chance of doing that.
Yeah.
Next up, I bookmarked the cleric spells because I wanted to talk about. Remember Colin, for instance, later on.
Spoke about old Big Colin.
He had 2 spells, right, which changed the way fundamentally we played the game.
So wait.
The first one was I forget what it's called actually. I can't find it here. But he was able to regenerate fallen allies and bring them back to life.
Oh, shit,
as long
yeah.
as he had their corpse and it was within an hour.
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, if I died within an hour in the game, if he came over to me, my actual corpse,
Caressed your body
Now-
and
brought you
did
back to
this
life.
spell.
Yeah, but now I know what the listeners might be thinking is, oh, that sounds too fucking easy.
Well,
no,
no.
actually, it came up with a lot of really cool situations because it meant that often 2 characters would die and he'd have to pick which one
Shit,
to resurrect.
yeah, and he didn't
Because
know
he'd
who-
only get one
yeah,
of these spells
that's
a day.
right, yeah.
And that meant that he...
Who will I save?
Yeah, and that was fucking awesome. Second was travel planes,
Travel many planes.
which is what Ryan kept saying.
Ryan's
Ryan's character-
awful for learning his own spells, isn't he? We used
He
to
kept
have to-
forgetting he had
yeah.
spells and shit, but
Oh.
he had travel planes, so he could just blink to another plane of existence if he so wanted to.
Yep.
So it meant that it removed some quite fundamental risks, but specifically from him, and it meant that like later on in the game, like enemies were targeting him because they knew he was a cleric, and they knew that he could do this shit, and they knew that if they wanted any chance of taking out the team,
They got to take the cleric down.
exactly. So they'd be sort of like thinking tactics around him, and that makes for some interesting gameplay. But one of the cool things is that in Pathfinder, if you want to do a spell, you have to be able to speak. And it's like a
So your character has to be able to speak.
because they have to say the spell.
That's right, yeah.
So if you've had your tongue cut out, if your mouth is stuffed, you won't be able to do magic, right? And the funny thing is that after a while, do you remember that people, like non-magic characters, also have moves that have names? For instance, Rex had Stunning Fist, but they don't need to say the name; they can just do it because it's not magic.
Yeah.
But everyone just started saying it anyway. So do you remember like
a special move.
yeah, like it was like a fighting game where everyone was announcing what they were saying.
Stunning fist.
You'd be like, Stunning Fist. And do you remember there was that shopkeeper that was like, give change?
Oh yeah.
My name's Alan Rickman, and I'm No, wait.
My name's also Alan Rickman.
No, I'm the real Alan Rickman.
No, wait, I'm Alan Rickman. But I'm not. No, wait.
No,
what?
no, I'm Alan
No,
Rickman.
shush. I'm Tabletop Twats.
Just that. No, just
The
that.
song was fucking awful.
No, that line. No, just that part of the chorus.
Wild Wild West,
You're listening to Wild West Cast.
where we talk about the shit film that is the Wild Wild
So have
West.
we fully, not fully, but have we, do you think we've sparked people's imaginations to go and play Pathfinder now?
I fucking hope so.
Can they come play with you?
No, but they can fuck right off and go play somewhere else, motherfuckers. No, but seriously, yeah, play Pathfinder. It is such great fun, and even if you're not into fantasy, you will get so much out of this, and it is an amazing system. And he is the champion of the dungeon. Challenge bit.
Challenge time.
Challenger's hand.
Okay, James, that's too loud. Do it a bit quieter.
Challenger's hand. I've got a challenge for both of you, both Nick and Harrison. It's a shotgun campaign challenge.
You're gonna have to say that in English, mate.
It's a shotgun campaign challenge.
Okay, so what do we have to do?
Right, so I've got a D10 out, and basically you roll twice. Obviously, one will determine an objective, the other one will determine a noun, and from that you need to instantly make up a campaign based around the two words that you roll.
Shit, okay.
So then you'll judge which one.
I'll judge the winner, yeah.
Alright,
If whoever I
cool.
decide wins. So,
Yeah.
okay, roll to see who goes first.
Okay, so whoever gets the higher goes first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, Harrison rolled
Strong
an 8.
8.
Oh! Crit.
Oh, that's a crit, mate. You better do a crit.
Right, the
one.
criticals.
Right, so Nick is up first. So Nick, could you please pick up the dice again?
Yes.
Please, can you roll it? Okay,
5.
that is 5. Okay. Next roll. I will tell you both words after the second
Alright, yeah,
roll.
cool. And that's a
5 and 3.
3.
Okay. So the two words you have are finishing and chair.
Finishing chair.
Yes, in sequence, finishing chair.
I think I'm going to win this one.
Okay, so, and I have to, start a campaign about?
Make a campaign
Make up
about.
a campaign setting.
Okay, so, finishing chair. A role-playing game. It's set in, I don't know, Germany, and you're a carpenter, and you're working towards this great fucking chair that can finish your career. And
How great, a chair though.
it's so great that you will be able to, I don't know.
You would weep when you see the
You'd
chair.
weep when you see this chair. Only a king would sit on it, and then you'll be made for life, and that's the final chair, and that's what is the finishing chair.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wait.
a
So
second.
you're
Sounds like a computer game.
Is this like World War II Germany then? Because it doesn't sound particularly hard. You just work on the chair, finish it, done.
Well, no,
Wait,
'cause
so
he's,
wait a second.
yeah, when he gets
You're
the
not-
charge.
Wait, you need to make a campaign setting. So the setting, there's going to be 5. Say, for instance, 3 characters come into this.
Yeah, all the
what are they
characters
going to do?
No,
Watch him make this
They've
chair.
got to get wood, haven't they?
No,
All right, so they come in as.
There's no wood about.
so
they go down
only
the
one
forest.
guy gets to be the carpenter, and all the other guys have to be wood
They're
gappers.
basically
No,
NPCs.
they can be any kind of.
Yeah, but then they get attacked by like the wooden chair mafia, and that's
Then
how.
Pinocchio comes out of
I
nowhere.
was just about to say he's a boss. He's an end-level boss, isn't he? He wants his chair back.
And then you use his nose to make the last bit of chair.
That sounds shit. I wouldn't play that game.
I think I could beat that.
All right, okay.
Come on, finishing chair.
Finishing chair. Well done, Nick.
Fucking hell.
Right, Harrison rolled a 3
I don't even know what it is.
and a 6. Oh,
I don't know what it is.
these two actually go quite well. I reckon they might.
Yes.
Fishing,
Yes.
axe.
Okay, so
Fishing axe.
Oh, well, that's
there
nice.
is a child whose sister comes down with a curious malady, and basically in this universe there is a legendary fish that is shaped like an axe, and they need the steel that comes from the beak of this hideous fish, and they need to get that in order to operate on this woman. And the campaign setting basically is that all of the party are involved in this world where fishing is like the national sport, and they have to fish their way to the top to try and get the correct pass to get to the lake where the axe fish lives.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
I've nailed it. Follow that.
That's a fun.
I reckon... Yeah. Well, okay, winners in. I have to say, yes, it was Harrison.
Not
is the
finishing
winner.
chair.
I like finishing chair, man. We'll do a finishing chair.
I do like the finishing
It's a
chair.
bleak game. You've got to really
You've got to get into the real chair mentality.
One.
Yeah, you got to get right into like the grains and woods and all the notches that go in them. Yeah.
You rolled a 20, you only got beach.
My name's also Alan Rickman.
No, I'm the real Alan Rickman.
No, wait, I'm Alan Rickman.
So the next challenge
Yes.
is... I actually gave Nick this challenge in advance of the podcast because I asked you to find the weirdest RPG you could on the net. On the net.
On the net.
On the net. I told you to find the weirdest game on the net.
Alright.
On the net.
Fuck, what are you doing? Right, so... Shut up. Murdered.
Well, do you know what? I started looking into it, and it's
On the net?
on the interweb.
Right.
And
Into computer.
I started looking into it. I found some crackers. To be fair, they're well. I'm gonna talk about. First of all, I want to talk about lasers and feelings.
I've seen this.
The name's brilliant. It's a one shot, and it's basically a sci-fi game.
And it's one-page rulebook,
It's
isn't
a
it?
one-page rulebook. It's brilliant. I've got it in front of
One
me.
A4 page
I've
rulebook.
printed it off in front of me. I'll read the little bit at the beginning. You are the crew of the interstellar scout ship Raptor. Your mission is to explore uncharted regions of space, deal with aliens both friendly and deadly, and defend the consortium worlds against space dangers. Captain Darcy has been overcome by a strange psychic entity known as something else, leaving you to fend for yourself while he recovers in a medical pod. So that's the story.
Well, I read about this a little bit, and I think one of the really cool things is that you roll up a character that's just like a couple of traits, right? And then you role play it like that, but you also there's something else. Don't you roll to see what that is, so you can play this multiple times, and the thing that's like fucked up the captain will change every time you play it.
Yep.
So is there a preset something else as well then?
No, you always have to roll on the table, so I think it's there, isn't it?
So it's create a space adventure. Roll or choose from the tables below. So we could do it right now. So it's a D6. Let's go for the first one. Right, a threat. All right, so we got 6, which is alien brainworms. So that's our threat we've got to deal with.
So
So that's the something else.
and then you roll the next thing. It's like,
Wants to
Number 2.
steal or capture, and then we've got the
Number
that's
3.
number 3, Star Dreadnought, which will
Number
number
4.
4 start a war/invasion. Okay, so cool. So we've got brain. What's that? So alien brainworms want to
steal.
steal the Star Dreadnought to start a war, basically. So it's like parasitic brainworms are controlling people that are trying to steal a death ray, if you like, or some super weapon to start a war. So it's as easy as that.
So cool, man.
well, that's really quick.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool. So then, so you choose a style of player. So you can be an alien, an android. You could be dangerous, a hotshot. You could be intrepid, savvy, or sexy.
That's quite.
I can be all those things.
Yeah, I am all those things.
So you choose a role for your character. You could be a doctor, envoy, engineer, explorer, pilot, scientist, or soldier.
I really appreciate the elegance of that system.
I like the fact that it's one page rulebook, right? And it's already got tons of depth into it. Like,
Yeah, I love that, man.
So do you want to know why it's called Lasers and Feelings?
Oh yeah, go on.
Right. So basically, when you're rolling up a character, All right, so let's do this now. So choose your number from 2 to 5. A higher number means you're better at lasers, which is technology, science, cold rationality, calm, precise action. Right. And if you're a lower number, that means you're better at feelings, which is intuition, diplomacy, seduction, wild, passion, or action.
That's so cool.
So you roll the dice.
So you basically roll to see what type of being you are, whether you're better at lasers and feelings.
Yeah, whether you're more science or whether you're more emotional. So I really just want to get to one bit. So if you roll your number, you get laser feelings. And what that means is that you can ask if you roll your number exactly, you have laser feelings. You get a special insight into what's going on. Ask the GM questions and they have to answer you honestly.
Oh wow!
So you can ask them anything.
You just get you're able to intuit events that are about to happen.
So you can say what are they really feeling? Who's behind this? And you can get some direct answers to what's going on.
So if you've got laser feelings, you could just say to the DM what would be the best way to kill this guy?
Yeah.
Or
where is it?
What's the brain?
Yeah, where is actually the thing?
That brain works.
So you could be having a discussion with a guy, and you could be like, "Where's the trigger?" or whatever.
Where is it?
And then they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to tell you." And then you roll laser feelings, and then you ask the DM. So that would mean in the game, you just bugger off halfway through, and you're like, "Guys, I think I know where it is." Fuck this guy. We're going.
So Lasers and Feelings is by John Harper, and he's at 17@gmail.com and 17design.com. So that's where we got it from.
Well done, John Harper.
Yeah, well done. Thanks for the laser feelings.
I suppose did you find any others? Or
I did. No, I found a couple more. So there's a couple. Just one I can just touch on really quickly.
Okay.
It's a bit strange, but we won awards. So
won awards.
It's just a weird concept, man. I wrote it down. It's called My Life with Masters. Anyone ever heard of it?
No.
No. Okay. Well, this one's by Paul. I'm not even going to be able to pronounce this. Kazagi. Czege.
I think it's Serge. Paul Serge.
So it's from Paul Serge, and it's My Life with Master. So it's I picked up the rules for free. Obviously, just found it. It's pretty in depth. It's 66 pages. These rules. I didn't read it into depth.
What's
the general idea is that the GM is the master. And all the players are the slaves. Anyway, it comes with a warning. It's set in medieval times, I think. And basically, from what I can gather, is the premise is that the GM is the master, and all the players are just his slaves. He tells them to do whatever he likes.
The DM's almost like a character. Well, he is his character in the story. Then
he's the master, yeah.
And is it dark? It sounds dark.
It seems pretty dark. I mean, it comes with a warning at the beginning. So, a fair warning, dear reader. So I'm not going to go into it now, but check it out, man. It looks different, that's for sure, and it looks a bit weird. But My Life with Masters by Paul Serge. I can talk about one more. Yeah, there's one more called Puppet Town. A storytelling game with strings in the grim world of make-believe. So basically, Puppet Town is that this master puppeteer got fed up with how sad the world was and made a puppet world, and then he disappeared all the puppets from the real world into this puppet world where they all live. But
that sounds mental.
It's a bit shit because and so the puppets can only move for an hour at a time. So I don't know whether that means. I think that's within the role play.
It's almost like Toy Story then.
Yeah.
You can be any puppet you like.
Any puppet you like. Ventriloquist.
This is an old one. This is from 1995, and this is written by someone called John Tynes.
John Tynes.
Yeah.
John Tynes.
Puppet Land. Go check that one out as well because that's weird. But again, there's so much here to it. You could there's pages on the rules and stuff. So
Puppet Land. That's so cool, man.
Puppet Land. So try Puppet Land. Try Lasers and Feelings, and try Masters?
My Life with Masters.
My Life with Masters.
Hey everybody, come gather around the fireside. I got a story to tell you about a time when I beat 2 goblins and 3 basilisks all by myself. That's right, I did it with my own 2 hands and my trusty 6-shooter, of course. But that's not the point. Point is, I beat him. I won. Fireside Tales.
So this is Fireside Tales, and this is where we regale you with our stories from our RPG experiences. So first up, James, as the guest.
Number 1. Okay, so obviously I'm going to touch on Pathfinder, and specifically in Pathfinder I'm going to touch on the campaign that me, Harrison and Sean played on Roll20. And so my guy was a rogue elf named Asaurus. Sean's guy...
Not Thesaurus.
Sean's guy was a dwarf... A brawler?
Fire, yeah.
He was a dwarf fighter. His name was Harry. Okay, so we pretty much spent the entire session doing just this. We didn't actually really accomplish anything, but still to this day, it was one of the most entertaining sessions I think that we had. It was so much fun, and there was a lot of laughter going on down the microphone on the older videos there. But basically what happened, we got into this, what kind of building was it? It was just like
It was almost like a warehouse.
Yeah, so we got into this like warehouse, and we you know, took us a while to get in there after all our trials and tribulations leading up to this point. I won't tell you exactly why we're getting there, but we got into this room, and then upon getting into this room, we came across barrels of wine. As soon as we opened it, Sean's character Harry just went, I dive right in. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Nice.
So that's what he typed. He had an asterisk, gulp, 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 close asterisk. And following that, we basically spent the entire session just getting completely drunk. And then as we got more and more drunk, we had to roll Constitution to see how much it affected us. And
Well, I remember there was a point where the two of you started singing dwarf songs.
Yeah.
And you were just sort of sitting on the ground.
we were having heart-to-hearts and stuff. But it was really, really entertaining. And following this, we
Great
actually, it was amazing. Following this, in later session, we brought some of the barrels with us and got drunk on the way. And whilst we were actually interacting in battle and with other people, because our characters were drunk, we took massive hindrances in Constitution and therefore hindrances on the rolls that we
Because you're a
had.
fucking mess.
So it really affected us, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was one of my fondest times because, we literally, as far as the story goes, did absolutely nothing. But we had so much fun playing it out.
Drinking out of barrels of booze.
Drinking out barrels of blues.
Barrels of blues.
My name is Paul Churchet, and when I'm narrating RPGs about slaves and me being the master, I'm listening to the TableTopTwats.
I don't even know what fucking voice that was.
I like that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the story of Rockford Magnum, or at least the beginning of the story of Rockford Magnum. He was a character in Call of Cthulhu, and he was an ex-private eye turned paranormal investigator. And the first mission that they had, we spoke about this before, but the first mission they had was to go and investigate this guy's cat, who he believed was acting spookily. When it turned out that that was complete bollocks, obviously, they found out that the butler was possessed with something terrible. And so they went to go and investigate that. Even though that wasn't part of the mission, they went to go and investigate. And what they found is that he dug a huge tunnel under his house, and at the end of this tunnel was a statue that was making him go insane, and he was sitting in front of it crying his fucking eyes out, and he was just bawling and bawling and bawling. And your character and his character and James's character,
Roland.
Basically, you guys went with Rockford Magnum down there, and you were all gingerly stepping forward, all had to keep rolling sanity, and you were like all going nuts. You were crying, screaming. You guys are falling on the floor, going nuts. And Rockford had a bottle of whiskey that he'd nicked from the guy's front room, and he was like, I said, right, roll sanity. And he went, can I just have a swig of whiskey first? And he's like, okay, no time like the present. And his character just starts swigging the whiskey, and I go, okay, your sanity loss is lessened because that drug is helping you. And he was like, fucking A, yeah, I'm going to drink more alcohol. So every time he took a step forward, he had another swig. And he was trying to stave off the sanity, and he was like, all right, take another swig. And he was walking towards him, and he was so fucked up. He was like halfway down, and he was fucking unable to stand. And he was stumbling towards this guy, and he had to even roll like dexterity just to stay standing up. Yeah. And he was barely able to fucking get over. And he goes over to the guy, and he's like, because the guy's crying and all of this, and they think that's what's making them insane, not the statue. So he goes up, he's stumbling, he's barely standing up, he's succeeding, he falls over a couple of times, gets back up, and then he gets right to the end, he goes, right, I'm going to fucking kick the guy in the head. And,
oh shit, yeah.
And I said, okay, roll martial arts. He rolled a fucking 1. Oh, yeah. And that is the highest possible score. That's 1 out of 100. Yeah. And he rolled a 1. So he stumbled, barely able to stand, falling over, picking himself back up, blabbering like a fucking idiot, and then pulled off this unbelievably perfect roundhouse kung fu kick to the head on the guy and knocked him out instantly.
That was brilliant, yeah.
It was just amazing.
Oh my god.
Szia! Az én nevem Alan Rickman.
Okay, so my fireside tale is from Pathfinder, and it was in Dungeon Land, I think Alice in Wonderland, and so we're going through and we come across the caterpillar, and he's smoking a bong, and he's just like, "Hey man, get high with me," and he kept blowing his smoke in our face. And anyway, what we were starting to struggle, and we didn't realise at the time was that the actual smoke was interfering with our alignment.
Yeah, it was like magical smoke that would change your alignment. So
Yeah.
it permanently changed the way.
So we started to struggle big time with him, and we didn't know what to do because he just kept doing it and like disappearing or whatever, and started messing with us. So in the end, Jason, which was James's character, which was a huge half orc, was he?
Yeah, like, and he was sort of like Cockney hard man.
Yeah, and he was bright green, and he was just a big lad. And so he decided to climb up the toadstool. Was it a toadstool? Sure.
Yeah, he was sitting on top of like a 30-foot high mushroom.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, so he just climbs up there, does really well on his climb. Grabs the caterpillar, picks him up, and then at that point the caterpillar's like, "No, mummy, no!" Turns out he's just like a fucking annoying teenager, and just launches him off the top of the mushroom, and he just goes flying down and splats on the ground, and that's it. And then he just turns around to the rest of the party and just goes, "Solved."
In the future, you will be able to send a letter from anywhere on the planet. This is the future. This is the Electro Letter.
This is Electro Letters, where we take your electronic mail from the internet on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter, and we read out your questions and we answer them. So,
and it's getting more and more. We get more and more each week. It's brilliant. We're doing really well.
As a listener and a guest on this podcast today, thank you for having me. I am amazed and astounded at the Google Plus community. So all those of you listening, from a fellow listener and friend of the TableTopTwats, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. And the support has been incredible. I mean, we just thought that we're all passionate about playing, didn't we? We never miss a game, like every week.
Yeah.
The only time we don't meet up is because of scheduling work, basically.
Well, no, you did miss one because of your granddad's funeral.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I mean, come
Which
on.
I thought was a bit out of order.
I know, I won't do it again. I'm sorry.
That's not.
I'm joking.
Sorry.
That is spot. I love it.
I'll cut that.
Yeah, cut that out. I might, maybe. So I'm an only going to listen to it. No, actually.
Just keep digging. Right, ask the question.
So number one fanboy, Craig Istid, has come in with, you're forced to take part in an MMA fight against each other. You're allowed to bring one weapon with you each, but it has to be a piece of gaming hardware or peripheral.
Well, so we have to. Okay, so let's say
So
it's
me and
all,
you.
no, be all three of us.
Freeway. It's a fatal freeway.
Why are you always suggesting that, Nick? No. Okay, so it's a fatal. It's a sexy three-way between the three of us, right? And we have to bring a gaming peripheral to beat the fuck out of each other.
Basically, yeah.
I assumed it has to be an RPG one, but realistically, that can only be books and dice. Actually, no.
No, it's
okay,
dice.
I know. I figured it out. I've got a fucking answer.
Go on.
I think we should all say our answers at the same time. So
Okay,
we
that's
can't
a good
cheat
idea.
and base our answers off everyone else's.
That's a good shout. Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3. Dice tap.
Dice tap.
Oh, you fucking motherfucker! What did you say?
I said a mini.
I said dice tower.
You stab someone in the eye with a mini.
Yeah.
I said
But some of the minis are not mini.
That's true.
Some of the miniatures in other games are
you can have one of those
fucking
giant
huge.
dragon ones.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
They're proper heavy cast iron with
Hench.
genuinely
They do
sharp.
some
No, but the
damage.
thing is though, the thing is about the dice tower is they're huge and they come with like a detachable plate. So
Like a bat, innit?
I would use the plate as a shield. You swing at me with your dragon statue, and then I'd smack you with the other bit.
Yeah,
you'd be
and
dead, mate, in seconds.
And I'd jab you with my dice tower as well. So we'd be dueling with our dice towers.
Yeah,
and
like
James would be
fencing.
running around with his mini trying to stab us.
No,
Dragon, die!
it's not that mini. It's a large mini. All right.
Good question, Craig. Yeah, good question.
So the next question comes.
Hang on, wait a minute. Wait, Nick, you're in charge of the questions.
I'm the question guy.
Wait a minute. I'm the geist.
What?
All right.
Look, it doesn't matter. Nick asked the questions.
Okay, but the next question comes from James Clarke. Thank you, James Clarke. All right. The
Wait,
question.
so you?
Yes.
This question's from you.
This question is from me. So the question is.
All right.
Thank you, James.
All right, fine.
Is have you ever, as a character or DM, cheated a roll? Dun, dun, dun.
You fudged.
Yeah, fudged the roll. You
Well,
know.
I mean,
fudged the dice.
Me personally, no, because I'm not a bad person. James, you personally?
I have never done it, and
Not a
there has
bad
been
person.
right. There have been so many times. I'm sure everyone who plays tabletop RPGs so many times when you really wish you could. I really wanted to, but I fucking never have.
So Nick,
cheating like a beast.
You have a fudge to roll, Fudger? Fudgy? You want some fudge with that fudge? Do you know what? I think I
fudge to roll.
So could you?
I was a little bit
could you apologise?
Could you just
Sorry.
explain
why you've done this?
I'm just a man walking down the street, and here I come, and I'm looking at...
fuck off! Shut up! I'm a fucking northerner. Give us your fucking phone. Yeah, fucking hell. Oh, you've got podcasts on it. Got any good ones?
Well, only tabletop twats.
Shut the fuck up!
All right,
Nice.
good question. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
James.
Cheers,
Thank you, James.
I forgot it was asked by you then. Like a sincere thank you.
We both just turned around and looked at it and went, thanks. James.
Well, thank you, me. And that's a wrap. No,
All right, so next up.
Okay, right, next question is from Darren, again, Darren Banks. I think he asked this question in the first one, so he...
Hey, DB.
What's the history of the dice? Why is 6 sides not enough? When did it... Okay, so start there. So...
Well, personally, I think the answer is that with more dice, there's more possibilities. So if say, for instance, you want to roll to climb something or jump over something, right? If you have a 20-sided dice, let's say you only make the roll by 1, then you succeed, but you succeed badly. If you make it by 2, you succeed a little bit better. Whatever. It gives more degrees of success and failure and allows for more possibility. I think that's literally all there is. And another thing is for weapon damage as well. So in the game, like a weak weapon, you roll a d4. So you have a possibility of getting a 1, between a 1 and a 4 for that roll.
And that's the most damage that dice can do.
Yeah, but if you've got a d12 weapon, you've got quite a high possibility to do some good damage.
So when did it all first start? RPGs, that is. That's D&D, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm fairly certain, I'm going to do this from memory, but I'm fairly certain it was the 70s.
Marines.
But basically what happened was that I think they started off with boxes similar to the beginning box that we see now.
Yeah.
It came with 4 minis in it, and it came with a rule book that was basically a pamphlet that it was...
Get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. There was basically no fucking rules.
And this was Dungeons & Dragons?
This was D&D, yeah.
D&D.
I'm sure there was instances of it before, but the mainstream one was that, and that's where it really started. When people wanted more rules and it became all about fucking arguing, they released Advanced Dungeons & Dragons.
For advanced arguments.
Yeah, basically. And that was D&D 2nd edition. That's basically how it carried on from there. That's how it started. I'm fairly certain that's the case. But I do remember one thing that's quite funny. In AD&D... No, not in AD&D. In the original one in the 70s, I remember the classes... I think... You didn't have class and race, but the classes were... I think it was rogue, wizard, fighting man. Even if you were a woman, you'd be a fighting man. And elf.
Fighting man and elf.
Yeah.
So
great. And basically, one of the reasons the game became so popular in America is that copies of Advanced D&D were given out to people in the military, specifically people in submarines, because they were stuck down there for ages and they could use their imagination to keep sane, basically. Yeah. So and that meant that people went home to their families, played it with them, and proliferated it. Then it got into schools and stuff. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
And it spread, yeah. Awesome. And they got to where we are now. Did you both meet through this, or did you know each other before?
No, we met through this.
Yes, and I met Nick through this as well.
Yeah, which all happened through Ryan, who we've spoken about before.
Well, actually,
basically
it happened through Harrison.
Well, yeah, because you guys met because you met on the first session, but I met Nick because he was Ryan's friend, but I met him, we met up at the pub. Yeah. Sort of like, I was sort of interviewing you to see if
Does he cut it?
Yeah. And like, we just talked for ages about fucking Stephen King and comic books, and then it was just like, alright, cool, you're in.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, ever since we started the campaign with this group of guys, with Nick and Ryan, this was the reason for meeting, and it's all because of Harrison. Friends for life, genuinely.
Man. Yeah.
Like
we've been like nearly 2 years.
Yeah. We've been going now like for ages, and fucking great. I see these guys on a weekly basis, and
look forward to it, don't you? It's
great.
Yeah, can't say the same.
Shut up. You love it. And the next question from Darren is: do you listen to music while playing?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
We do, because we always like to have something that's setting appropriate, don't we?
So it's more music.
No, but we listen to some pretty cool shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that we listen to consistently because it is just pleasing to the ear in the background, but other stuff that is specifically for setting. And there's even times where the DM at the time will literally just be like, either pause that, I need to play this for this section, or be in full control of the music, and at certain intervals change the music completely to set exactly what's
going
happening.
on. TableTopTwats. I can't do it. Okay, next question is a good one. Still Darren. Have you ever had fights over things?
Only once. Right?
Is that how it worked?
No, yeah. This wasn't in this group, but it was with Ryan.
Yeah.
And I've told that story before,
Yeah.
so just refer to episode 1, and that was the only time I've had a falling out. Actually,
I was just about to say
I've got another one. Yeah, your one, James.
With Sean.
No,
something Sean wanted.
No, it was. Oh no. Okay, no. Actually, there is another one. I've got 2 actually.
Go on.
Okay, so the first one, right, was where we were playing a campaign that was DM'd by my wife. Right, and James was just very, very simple combat maneuver. Millie was being a killer DM. All he wanted to do was stand on a rock to get a better viewpoint of the battlefield. That's it. And Millie went, "You can't stand on a rock." And he went, "What do you mean I can't stand on a rock? How fucking tall is this rock?" And then she was like, "No, you can't stand on it." And then James was like, "No, I've climbed the rock. I climbed the rock." And Millie went, "Okay, you climb the rock. There's poisonous moss on it. You are now poisoned." And James was like, "What the fuck? Poisonous moss? You just made that shit up out of nowhere." And he got really angry. And then we had to go for a little cigarette break. Second one was there was a time where...
It still pains me.
There was a time where one of the characters died, Alan, right? But he had a sniper rifle, which just before he died, he gave to James's character. And then,
Wait, no.
And then listen, let me finish, man. And then you can tell your version. Your fake version.
It's not a fake version.
Basically, here's what happened, right? As soon as Alan died, right, everyone was like, "Oh my fucking god, Alan's dead, oh my god." And then James went, "What was the name of that sniper rifle?" That was all he cared about.
No.
Even though this character died. Oh, no.
No. Obviously, I was upset about it.
The gun?
He was upset he didn't get the gun quicker.
Sorry, man.
No, you guys, man, you're taking it out of...
He's generally getting angry.
It's happening now.
Don't worry, Pumpkin. I did do a little scream when my name was said. Oh my god, they said my name. So, well, keep listening, mate. We'll keep sending the questions in and we'll keep saying your name. Thanks very much, Darren.
Darren Banks.
Darren Banks.
Oh, the last thing you said, actually. One last thing. Do you take virgins or is it only seasoned players?
We take... Well, we actually...
do a one-shot with us.
We haven't... Yeah, we should organise some games.
If anyone generally wants to come and play, and we've spoke about one-shots before, we're more than happy to sit in the pub for an afternoon, have a few beers and do one shot.
I was on an elevated platform and thus I get a +1 on my javelin.
We also put out a question and asked for people's favourite character stories that they've done.
Or met along the way, that's right.
Yeah, and I want to say a massive thank you to Jeanette Gerard. She sent us this fucking awesome story that is about her character Magda Summers, and we started reading it and it is amazing, and actually the quality of writing is so good, so we don't want to just summarise it and butcher your story. We want to give it the respect it deserves. So a couple of days after this podcast I'm going to release a bonus episode where I'm going to do a dramatic reading about this character Magda, and I'll do a little prologue to say how it came into us on that podcast as well. But thanks so much for sending that, because that is absolutely amazing. Jeanette also asked a question for us as well, so we'll answer that now.
She says, I do have a question about character development in RPGs. Who should have the greater control of the character development in the game, the GM or the player? Ooh.
I saw this question earlier on in the week, and I think, right, that it's the obvious answer is that it's going to be both, right? Mm-hmm. But the main character concept has to be done by you. But the DM gives you a set of tools to interact with. I mean, think about it, right? If all you've done when you create a character is create a character, what are they going to do in a blank white space? The DM's there telling you a story and you'll react to it.
Setting and everything.
So it's like our current campaign, right? Is that my character didn't start off being, a Mad Max type fucking villain,
No.
But she was influenced by the world, and I thought, what I did is I took on board the ideas that you'd given us and added them to the character as well.
Yeah.
I made her a reaction to your world as much as a creation by me. As
Like Ernest. I mean, even your character, James, you're changing. Everyone's changing, aren't they?
Yeah, because we're being affected by this shit, and it's like, so I think in equal parts, really, you create the character, but the DM's going to give you tools to work with to deepen that further.
You can't just say when you next level up, and if you have the option to choose firearm specialist as a bonus feature you have, you can't just say, yeah, I just get that.
I choose that because it's useful.
Because it's useful. No, it has to be fitting with your character. So we always make sure that if we are going to get something that's slightly out of character, we need to make sure that there's a plausible reason for that character to have it, and the development reason.
Yeah, so why would the princess character just suddenly start using guns? The answer is they wouldn't.
So what's the answer to the question?
The answer to the question is, it is kind of both. It is really, really genuinely both, because you're being given...
It's all about collaboration, isn't it?
Thanks, Jeanette.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. And stay tuned for the bonus. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Next question is from Google+. This is from Matt Stark. Thanks for the question, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Shout out.
He's got again his load, so it's
Big Matt.
Big Matt. So first question: how many twats are at the game table? 5. 5 of us. Yeah. 5. Twat was your last least favourite game?
Least favourite game, Advanced D&D.
Okay, I haven't. Oh shit, it's hard.
You've only played good ones.
Dice etiquette. Do you handle each other's duels?
I like this.
Absolutely not.
No, we don't, do we? The last one from Matty is what dice rolling techniques do you use? Please tell me you don't get super enthusiastic and splash the map and minis. This probably falls under dice etiquette as well.
Well, actually, I remember a time where you got really annoyed with the roll, and Nick likes to do this technique where if he's rolling 3 dice at once, he'll roll them one at a time. He has a dice cup and he'll put them in and he'll pour each one out individually.
But then I'll be shaking it, so it's not a cheaty roll.
And then Nick he rolled the first 2 dice, realised then that he'd fucked it up and that the last one didn't matter. He went, oh, go away. And then he just dashed the dice across the table. And he lost it for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was a bit of a paddy,
But James, you always do the...
you like a wank roll.
You always do the wank roll.
Yeah. Hold them down there as if I was, do the action, and then release.
Okay, our next question is from pal of the show, Eric Lamoureux.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Big man Eric.
Big Eric. Right, so he's got. He's asked, what kind of props, supplies, etc. do you need to play an RPG? Okay, so for that.
Almost not that much.
We had a few. We had a tree, didn't we? We had a metal tree.
No, but to actually play one, you just need. Pen, paper, and dice.
Pen, paper and dice. And
imagination.
Imagination.
Exactly, because in the first campaign I never drew battle maps. I had one singular map that showed you where you were in the town, and everything else I described.
We didn't use minis, did we? We just used the marker of where we was at.
Yeah, and you would just go into a place and I'd say, okay, you go into a pub, it smells like beer, there's a man brushing up a glass behind the counter, and I'd just say things like that, and you just go, I walk up to the man or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't even need battle maps really. Most of the rule books, including Pathfinder, contain rules of how to play without battle maps.
So Savage Worlds, there's a thing that you can use without minis.
What have we used?
We have used where we print off graph paper and draw the battle maps onto them.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
a lot of that. You see the photos on there.
We use miniatures,
online,
which you can buy from various places, but we use typically metal miniatures, and we use those for battling purposes. We use a DM screen, which we mentioned earlier, which is just a little screen to put in front of the DM to hide his rolls and the notes he's making.
And I don't know if any of you watch Stranger Things, but notice that they're playing and their DM screen is just made out of a bit of cardboard, so it doesn't have to be bought. You can make it yourself. It's literally just to obscure the DM's area.
So the players don't know what's going on.
That's cool. Right, next question from Eric is, what are your favourite snacks and beverages when you play?
Beer.
If I'm driving up, then I'll just.
Whatever everyone else buys.
Yeah.
I'm destitute.
It's a lot of snacks, isn't it? Please.
It's literally, your standard snacks, your crisps, your chocolate, your nibbles, But you know what?
I can go a bit more in depth with this, because there was a time where Sean ate his dinner before he came round. Right, Sean is one of our group, and he'd eaten his dinner before he came round. Then we got there, and then we had like cookies and biscuits and crisps and all sorts of shit on the table. He was munching through that hard, and he had loads and loads of it. And then Ryan ordered a pizza in, and because Sean's a vegetarian, he got him his own personal pizza, and Sean felt rude saying no, so he ate that too. And then when we all went out for a fag, and Sean went upstairs quietly on his own, and only like a week later he told me that he went up there to chunder because he'd eaten too much food.
Because he felt rude not to eat Ryan's pizza.
Yeah, so he just ate it and then sicked it up.
Oh, bless him. Brilliant.
All right, well, send us some Canadian snacks, please, Eric.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
PO Box Tabletop Twats.
Yeah, don't actually send it there.
No, it doesn't.
No, that doesn't exist.
Send it to Gmail.
What do you do if you spill your drink over the map? Is it okay to eat someone else's snacks without asking?
Well, speaking of DM screens,
whoops, yeah, I did actually drop a beer all over your.
So DM screens, right? Yes, as James said,
I did buy you one for your birthday.
Good point. But GM screens, you can make them, but you can also get official ones. Usually very rare and expensive. And Nick was using my D&D 4th edition one, which I've had for years, and he spilled beer on it.
Spilled a cheap beer all over it.
Oh, it's so scary.
It's fine, no, we put it on the radio.
No, I've got it with me now, it's absolutely fine.
His last question is, does the die roll count if it falls off the table?
No,
dead roll.
Next question.
What about cocked against a book? That's the dead roll.
Right,
No, that's a
dead roll.
And that's all the questions from Eric for this one. So yeah,
Cheers, Eric.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Eric, you the man.
You the man. Yeah, okay.
Thanks for the products. Send us some products. Gmail.
Shut up. You want sweets, Canadian sweets.
On Canadian Sweets and Savage Worlds.
Jamie Pearson from the Wild Died podcast as well has asked us, if a boat crash lands in the desert, how many pancakes would it take to make it fly again?
72. Next question.
Gary wants some boots. McCallum has come in again, and he's asked Gaza. Yeah, some serious questions about dice etiquette. More dice etiquette. I like the topic. I like the trending topic. This one.
Hashtag trending.
Dice etiquette. Yeah.
Get on with the question.
Question number 1: do you bend over? So if you had to if you had to
number
play
one.
a game naked,
Do you bend over?
Nearly. If you had to play a game naked and a dice rolled off the table, do you bend over and pick it up with your butthole facing towards or away from the table?
Towards.
Always towards.
Always towards. You know, they've just got to see into the eye of the beholder.
Good reference. Very nice. And number 2 is, if a person you're playing with bends over naked with the butthole facing the table, do you throw the dice hard enough to lodge it in the butthole or bounce it off the cheek? I like dice, so I don't think I'd want to lose one to
I think we're quite precious with our dice, so we'd probably hang on to them. If their dice was there, we might do it to theirs.
I imagine Nick would probably cover his dice up.
Yeah.
Like
shield them as if they had eyes. Don't look.
And lastly, on a more comical note, what is your gaming wish list?
What?
I would absolutely love to own a copy of Shadowrun.
Really?
But the thing is, it's out of print, man. Shadowrun is
that's annoying.
Shadowrun is a cyberpunk RPG.
We looked at it.
It was 70 quid for the book, right? Or you can spend 40 quid and get a PDF from their website, which is a complete joke. I mean, I know it's quite a simple wish. I would like that.
Yes.
And maybe, some of those 3D structures you can get to build maps?
Yeah.
Some shit like that would be really fun to use.
I'll tell you what I'm really looking forward to. I backed the Kickstarter for the 20th anniversary Deadlands Kickstarter. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that, actually, because I don't really know anything about Deadlands, but I've just seen a lot of good stuff, and it's like
And it's a Western setting in Savage Worlds, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's sci-fi Western, or it's like paranormal. I'm not too sure, so I'm going to get killed for this because I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure Jamie would tell me about Deadlands because it's his favourite thing. But I'm really looking forward to getting that. So, and the other thing I'm really looking forward to is the other Kickstarter that I've backed, which is adventure location cards for fantasy, modern, and sci-fi. So I went for the modern ones, and what this is it seems like it's a full set of cards, like playing cards. But rather than that, well, I'll show you. Look, they've got these on the back, so it's a little map of a building or some kind of thing, and it will give you little points about the building. So if you're a bit stuck for, if you're just walking down a street in your game and you want to throw something at them, you can just pull something out and it'll give you like a small map of a warehouse, and then on the back of the card it'll give you certain points about it. It'll give you flavour for if you go into this warehouse.
I like that.
That's my gaming wish list.
Yeah, what do you want to get your hands on?
But I would like to. I reckon, Pathfinder specifically is to get the beginner's box and to also get a collection of minis. Beep, beep.
So annoying that does it. And some more minis.
More minis, but really intricate ones. Ones are actually custom minis.
Fuck right off, we're gonna play somewhere else, motherfuckers.
Tabletop Twats!
Don't do that, that's annoying to listen to.
Well, you're stuck with it.
So that was yet another episode.
Episode 3.
So Nick, let's say for instance you think those guys sound great. I want to get in touch with them and talk to them a lot. What do?
I'll tell you what do. You can email us at, as always, tabletoptwats@gmail.com. You can get in touch with us on Twitter, which is
at TabletopTwats.
Yep. You can also get us. You can hit us up on Facebook, which
/TabletopT.
TabletopT, yeah, because we can't have twats on there. And lastly, but not leastly, the good old Google Plus. Talk to us on there. Everyone's great there anyway, as always. We spoke about before.
And as a gentle reminder at the end, as the podcast listeners, you are the first people to know about the competition.
Yes.
So go to tinyurl.com/TTT-comp and colour in that picture and send it to us on one of the various methods that we've already said.
Within 2 weeks.
And you will have the chance to win the red box, the mini, the amazing set of dice. And
my own dice.
His own dice.
They are beautiful.
And thank you for listening, everyone. We need something sort of funny to end the episode on.
Yeah, alright. So that's everything from us from this episode. We seem to be churning out pretty fucking quick at the moment, so that's good. And
that's not your best joke.
No. That's awful. I don't know what to say.
Alright, I've got a joke.
Go on.
There's two people in a bar. One of them says hi, the other one goes bye. And the other one
That's it from us. It's been emotional. Good night.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye.
That'll do. You'll mix something together.